today, we're going to go ahead and breathe in and fill the entire skeleton with light. So, we always work on filling the kidneys up with the kidney energy. And the kidneys are great. They'll fill up, they're the organs of storage, and then your backup, where we really store our deep storage for that energy, that vitality, is in the bones. The bones themselves. The kidneys are associated with the marrow, and the marrow fills the bones. So we're going to breathe and fill our bones with light, with energy. And the way this technique works by breathing into the tips of our fingers and the tips of our toes, using these points as a way for the qi to enter our body, the ends of or beginnings of the acupuncture meridians. And what we like to do is imagine a beautiful white light that we breathe in through the tips of our fingers. So let's breathe that white light into the tips of the fingers and allow it to flow over the outsides of the bones. So you're basically like silhouetting your bones or just kind of painting them with a beautiful shining white light so you can see them in 3 dimensions. So let's breathe that white light all the way up to the wrists. So let's try that out. Let's breathe in and feel that white light flowing up to the wrists, all the way up. And then when we exhale, breathe out to the tips of the fingers, but feel like you're not releasing here. You're just filling those bones. So breathing in. White light flows up on the outsides of the bones when you're inhaling, but when you exhale, I want you to penetrate deep into those bones. Imagine they're like tubes and you're filling them up with light. Breathe in. They're already filled with marrow, so now we're going to contain that light in the marrow, in the structure of the bones. Let's breathe in, bring in the white light. I can both see it and feel it, but I'm more feeling. And pack those bones one more time for the hands. We're going to pack all the way up as if we filled up a cylinder or a jar. And now we're filling it right up to the top. And we're going to maybe use our breath to really just pack it, make sure it's really full. So just fill up those bones. Okay, now take a moment and feel into your bones and feel how much more present they are for you. They have more solidity, more substance somehow. And you can see they're not only white on the outside, but that white light shines on the inside too. They're luminous. They almost glow. So let's move down to the feet. Let's go ahead and breathe in through the tips of the toes up to the ankles, and then filling up those bones of the feet. You can remember to fill your toes, and then maybe the knuckles of the feet, and then on up until you reach your ankles again. So breathing in first through the outsides of the bones, up to the ankles. Bring that white light all the way up there, and then exhale. And feel all that light flowing into the toes and filling them up. Breathe in. Guide the light with your breath. Guide the qi with your breath. Exhale. This is a powerful move. You're pushing it. You're filling. You're packing here. You're not just letting it go. You're storing. Let's fill those bones, those feet. Make those bones stronger, more resilient, more alive. That marrow becomes supercharged, creating really high quality red blood cells for you. And white blood cells, they are some of the factories of your body. So let's give them some love. Let's give them some maintenance. Let's charge them up. Oh, so good. So now again, we're going to wrap. So we kind of alternate in this bone breathing exercise between filling and packing the bones, and then wrapping the major joints with energy, with light, because these are these transitional points where one bone moves to the next is kind of a vulnerability for us. This is why we often end up with aches and pains, say arthritis even, in the joints. It's a bit of a vulnerable spot. This is usually where we'll get injured. So we want to really strengthen them, give them kind of a wrapping of energy to make them strong, to really enhance the protective energy and the power that's there. So we're going to breathe in again from the tips, from the openings of the tips of the fingers. We're going to breathe in to our wrists, and we're going to wrap in one direction with the inhale and wrap in the opposite direction with the exhale. And we'll wrap, and that bandage, that layer of light, instead of getting bigger and being on the outside, we're going to have it penetrate deeper into the inside. So it penetrates all the way into the center of the joint. It really gives you kind of a dense wrapping of light. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's breathe in into the tips, up through the bones, and wrapping in one direction, a bandage of white light, and then wrapping in the other direction. Breathe it in. And exhale, wrap the other way, and feel how that intention, that Qi, is penetrating into your wrists. Breathing in. Exhale, wrap those ankles one more time. Sorry, those wrists one more time. Wrapping in one direction. Wrapping in the other direction, and now feel your wrists, feel that layer of light that's inside of those wrappings, that strengthening that's there, holding this joint, holding it. Exhale, wrap in the opposite direction. Fill. And wrap. Exhale. Wrap the other way, feel kind of in through your toes, up over the bones of the feet, up to the ankles, wrapping round and round and round. Exhale. Strengthen those joints, make them even more solid. Again. And wrap. One more time. Good. Very good. You can do this exercise sitting if you like, if you're tired of standing, it's no problems. And that's one way people do this exercise. So just giving you the option. Oh, we're going to do the whole body today. So now, just to speed things up a little bit, and also to help give you a chance to play with your focus, we're going to do the next stretch of the body from the wrists to the elbows. And also, simultaneously, we're going to do from the ankles to the knees. So you're going to breathe in from not just 2 points or 2 limbs. We're going to breathe in from all 4 limbs at once, all the fingers, all of the toes. We're going to bring all that light up over the long bones of the arms, the forearms, and the shins. And then we're going to pack them and fill them with energy. Now, if that's kind of too much to focus on, just focus on one or the other. But if you can, I'd like you to try to do both at the same time and just play with that. Really breathe in and feel that light, that white light, breathing in. All the way up on the outside of the bones to the elbows and the knees, and then start packing those long bones. First, it's down at the wrists and the ankles. Breathe in, another flow of light coming up, making those bones so white, so bright. And now store that Qi, fill up those long bones. And again. Draw in that energy. And to pack, and you'll feel you can kind of connect it to your abdominal breath. Just like we do with our Dantian breathing, we're storing, we're increasing that pressure of energy in the body. One more. And feeling those full, the long, the forearms and the calves. Now we'll try a dual wrapping where we wrap our elbows and our knees. And again, if you find that too, a little a little hard to do, choose one or the other. And maybe if you're going to choose one, do the knees, because they often usually take more abuse than the elbows do. So let's go ahead and breathe in from the tips of our fingers, tips of our toes. We're going to wrap the elbows and the knees in one direction, and then wrap in the other direction, and the Qi is going to penetrate into the joint. So breathing in, wrap in one direction, exhale, wrap in the other. Inhale. That's spiraling around the joints. And feel that light penetrating into the joint, holding, preserving, strengthening and supporting, bringing in that loving energy. One more, let's wrap those knees, wrap those elbows. Good. Take a moment just to feel the joints and imagine them filled with light, kind of this beautiful supporting wrap around them, keeping them strong. And then we're going to start to fill up our humerus, our funny bone, and our femur, the long bone of the thigh. These are the biggest, kind of longest bones of the body, and they're great storehouses for energy. And we do quite a bit of marrow production up in the tops of these, and we'll do even more in the flat bones that come up. But let's go ahead and fill these storehouses, these reservoirs, with light. Breathing in. Remember to come up on the outside, up to the shoulders, up to the hips, and then fill those long bones. We're going to go down to almost to the elbows and the knees. Breathe in fresh energy, new energy flowing through the tips. Go into the center of the bones and store energy, store light. Pack that Qi in there. Draw it in right up to those big joints. And then flow the energy into and store it in those long bones. One more. Fill them up all the way. Feel like you're packing, you're filling those bones. They've got all that light, all that energy in there. Now let's do one more. Let's top them right up. Good. All right, let's wrap those shoulders and those hips. Also, important joints that often have issues. So let's go ahead and really support these big joints. We're going to wrap the shoulders in one direction and the opposite. We're going to wrap the hips. Go right into the shoulder capsule. Go right into that socket of the hip and really feel that cartilage begin to glow. Let's breathe in and wrap in one direction. And exhale. Feel that wrapping penetrate into the joint, supporting it. It can be good to close your eyes or half-lidded. Remember that abdominal breath. So you guide the Qi with the breath. Wrapping in one direction. And supporting by wrapping in the other. One more. All the way up to the hips and the shoulders. flow into the joints. Feel them become so strong. Good. Now we're going to move to a different sort of bone. We're going to move to the flat bones. So the shoulder blades, the big hips, these are flat bones. These are very important also in our immune system, in those white blood cell production. And they're kind of fun to move the qi through. You draw it all the way across it, like a water flooding a plain, like the Sumas Prairie, perhaps. And then we're going to store that qi in the bone. So we're going to fill it up, 5 breaths. So let's breathe in, breathe up to those long bones, and then penetrate inward. So when you're inhaling, maybe you can come from the shoulders to the closest to the spine, and then fill in from that side of the shoulder blades. And then when you're inhaling into your hips, you can come to the center line, and then fill those long bones, pack them with qi. Feel them becoming fuller and fuller. One more time. A beautiful image in your mind's eye of these bones glowing, filled with light. They're radiant. Very good. Okay, so now we're going to wrap the spine. So you may focus more perhaps on breathing up through your toes, although I think you can support with your hands as well. And we're going to spiral the energy up the vertebrae. We're going to spiral up, and then I'm going to penetrate into those vertebrae, and we're going to fill the spine with light. We're going to make it really strong. So let's breathe in and spiral up the spine, and then maybe you can spiral, count your way back again, and feel almost like you're wrapping. This is almost the kind of like wrapping and filling at the same time, because there's so many joints in the spine. Let's breathe in, bring in that light. See what your imagination guides you, how it gives you this information of what's happening. Breathe in the light. Penetrate into the spine, into the cartilage, into the bone, making that bone solid and bright. And fill the spine, the vertebrae with light. Feel that marrow, the spinal cord, all filled with light, very energized. Very good. Now we're going to bring that energy, that qi, we'll bring it through the ribs. The ribs are nice, long, flat bones, wonderful to fill up, great storehouses of energy. And then we're going to come right up to the breastbone right here. I can't remember off the top of my head the Latin name for it. And we're going to, but your thymus gland is right beneath here. And we're going to fill those ribs with light. So let's breathe in. Bring the light over the outside, all the way up to the center of the chest, and then store the light in the ribs. Fill them up all the way back to the spine, and then out. Draw on the light. Fill the ribs. Feel them becoming denser, fuller. They're starting to glow now in your mind's eye. One more time. Drawing all this energy from the environment and storing it in the skeleton, the skeletal structure. Good. So from here, we can do the big bones of the head. Now, these are really fun bones to work with. They're flat bones. They're nice and strong. They're right next, they're right there. We feel these bones a lot. And they serve such an important purpose, keeping our brain protected. So let's breathe in all the way up. We're going to follow up these flat bones. Let's bring it all the way up to the crown. where, that's where all those bones fuse together when we were kids. So there's still kind of a suture there. And then we're going to fill those big flat bones with light. You can fill your jaw too if you like. Fill the jaw, the nose, the facial bones. So let's breathe in, nice, big, all this light. Fingertips, toes, all the way up to the crown, and then storing that light in the bones of the head. Feel that glow. More light, storing it there, seeing the whole skeleton now. As we bring the light in, flowing all the way up to the crown. And then with the exhale, we pack the bones of the head with this light energy, this storing, this power. Remember, belly breath, abdominal breath, squeeze that belly all through all sides. One more, and pack the bones of the head. Good. So we're going to finish this exercise by filling all the bones of the body, the whole skeleton. So we're going to feel it as one unified system. We're going to breathe inwards. We're going to bring light in. Perhaps we'll bring it up to the crown or wherever feels like a good point of entry. And then when we exhale, we're going to feel our entire skeleton, all the bones of the body, storing, packing, filling up any spaces that we missed. Just getting it nice and full of energy. So let's do that. Inhale. Breathe in the light on the outside and then penetrate into the center of the bones. Fill the marrow. Pack in that light. See your entire skeleton glowing and bright. One more time, let's breathe in that light. Feel it flowing up over the bones like a river of light. And then pour that light into the storehouse of the marrow. Beautiful. Now take a moment, close your eyes, move your body, and see as you do this, kind of have an image of the bones within your body, the articulations, the cartilage, the joints. And feel that light, see that light in your mind's eye. Have a picture of yourself with this strong and vibrant, glowing skeleton filled with storing the energy, storing your vitality. Great.